Welcome back. You're watching Storyboard. While the Times of India and Hindustan Times wage an ad war of sorts, claiming to be #1 in the metros, Dainik Bhaskar has launched a campaign called Unmetro, targeting the untapped potential of the non-metro cities. We're putting that up on notice board this week. Take a look.
Why have the same cookie every day when there are yummier ones to be eaten? Why sing the same old song when new tunes have been written?
This metro centricity is the conversation that we want to get into. We want to bring focus to the fact that there is this large transformation that is happening. We want to bring focus to the unmetros, especially in the media planning, media buying, and in the marketing world.
Papers have changed. I'm singing this because I care. Action is elsewhere. Action is elsewhere.
Godrej has launched its second product in the Creme hair color range called Nupur Coconut Hena Creme Hair Color. Hoping to achieve leadership position in the herbal hair color segment, it will be releasing its TVC this weekend. Here's what happened on the sets.
It is not a market share game. It is a very nice term which we coined for ourselves. We see that we have to premiumize India. So we see that as a task. And that's where, if you see, around 18 months back, we created a breakthrough product of Godrej Expert Rich Creme, launched at 30 rupees. We see another segment which is very important in this category is that people who are looking for natural hair creme solution. So this is our second growth driver, which we have created to expand the hair creme penetration in India.
Okay.
Godrej came up to me and said, you know, we are interested in looking at a person like you for our brand, and I was looking for someone like them. So it's a very mutual relationship. For me, I'm always proud when I'm offered big brands, big movies, you know, good quality work. So for me, it was like that.
We couldn't really find the right location in India just because of the weather conditions, and there wasn't enough water and it was incredibly hot. So we decided to build one in a studio, which is what's sitting right behind me, and it's worked out very well, but it was a large challenge to create a 30-foot waterfall and a kind of tropical jungle inside.
In films, you can take the liberty of doing whatever you want sometimes because, you know, you can create a character with the director. In an advertisement, a company chooses you because you have a certain image, you have a certain personality, which they think goes with their product. So it's a huge responsibility for me to be able to look into the camera and say, you must invest in this product. I'm actually telling people to spend money on something, and since I'm the face in the ad and I have been chosen to do this, it's a huge responsibility.
The entire advertising industry turned up at Mumbai's Nehru Centre on Friday to pay tribute to Mahinder, or Mike Khanna as he was popularly called. J. Walter Thompson's chairman emeritus, who passed away last Saturday, will be remembered for overseeing the successful transition of Hindustan Thompson Associates, or HTA, into JWT and internationalizing the agency. We're going to end the show today with those who knew and worked with Mike Khanna, remembering the man, mentor and stalwart.
I remember him as a very polished, nice diction, nice personality, and he spoke well, and obviously when he spoke, people listened to him. Not only because he was the head of JWT, but also because I think in his own right he had a very attractive personality. That's the way I would put it.
He was the embodiment of all the virtue that you don't hear about anymore, integrity, honesty, loyalty, all those old fashioned things. And I think which advertising I think also needed a dose of. I think Mike represented that.
So he was modest, he was charming, he was, I would say, extremely good natured. You couldn't get Mike to get angry. Okay. Now when you look at these things, modest, charming, good natured, yet very determined, right? What do you think JWT is today? It's exactly, he's left that legacy.
So when I was coming back to India from the creative World Creative Conference in SSCNB, I was coming via London, and in London I met Babu Iyer, who was part of the LPE Iyer name. LPE Iyer was an advertising agency in Bombay at the time. I said, Babu, there is this very good chap in New York, wants to come back to India, and I hear that you're looking for people. He says, we certainly are. Ask him to come and meet me when he is passing through London. And Mike was passing through London in a month from there. The meeting took place. Babu then telephoned me and said, listen, would you recommend him in LPEI? I said, heartily. That is how Mike Khanna came back to India, and that is my contact with him.
I think the big one was him giving me, the super tanker, which was HTA, and then thereafter became J. Walter Thompson, where he said, this is a very complex and very large company. So just take your time in understanding the issues and then think of what solutions you need to put forward. But he was empowering, so it was not that you had to meet every day or give a report every day. It was, I think, a very gentle way of approaching leadership, where you discuss certain issues or you discuss certain objectives the company had, and then he left it to the ingenuity of his leaders. So I think that's a rare quality.
He built HTA. He didn't inherit HTA as a big organization. He built HTA, and he built HTA not just in a linear fashion, but he built it as a group of companies, and he is associated with a lot of initiatives that the advertising industry was taking for the first time. The second very important thing about Mike was his people's focus. He was so focused on his own people, and I think he has again had a very simple trick, which was to surround himself with very bright people and then encourage and motivate them to go that extra mile to do their best. And I think over the years, I found at various stages of my career in JWT, Mike always there to motivate me and to give me opportunities which even I didn't think I was ready for. And the third thing was with Mike was his client focus and his focus on building client relationships.
We were at the Martinez bar. It used to be packed. We didn't have a place to sit. There was a staircase there, and Mike and I was sitting on the steps of the staircase, say about 10 or 12 steps higher up out there, and he leaned across to me and said, please don't tell anyone, but we won a silver in film. The V is very important. I thought that Hindustan Thompsons had won a silver. And I asked him, so Mike, what did you win it for? He said, not us. When I said we, I meant India. And my brother's film, Ericsson mobile phones, that had won a silver. And that was the first silver that India had got, and he called it V. I won't forget that.